All right, today we got another new little learning topic. Before we get started, new best belt on the planet. Make sure you check them out, Can-Ams and Polaris belts. We got them. Also, make sure you subscribe. Click this little red button down there you can barely see. And new to me is ringing the bell. Didn't even know what that is, but when you subscribe, there'll be a little bell. Click it, and you select all. And every time we make a new video, you'll get a notification. Interesting enough, talking about our belts, we're talking about belts. New belts cause problems. You go, how in the world would a new belt cause problems? Well, it's really very simple. Again, now some of this we're going to cover two things. Alignment's not a big issue on a Can-Am. It's a bigger issue on Polaris. Bad bearings or bearings going bad in primary clutches can affect both. So we'll talk about alignment first and bring this clutch up so maybe you can see it. I'll zoom in. All right, here you can see there's very little room between this new belt and the sides of this primary, and I can barely move it, okay? Right in there, so just keep that as a mental picture. All right, now, suppose that you had a worn belt. When a belt wears, it wears thinner, and there's a bigger gap, all right? So I won't pick that heavy clutch up. But the point is that if you had a little bit of alignment problem pushing you to one side or the other, and that worn belt was not touching it, and you put a new belt on, well, it's taking up that space and it's hitting hard in the clutch, and now it's dragging, and that's why you have well, my new belt does this and my old belt doesn't. That is a reason right there why a new belt would cause you a problem. But ultimately, it's obviously not the belt. You have an underlying issue that you just didn't know about. It showed up for you. Second thing is, bearings in these clutches, whether it's Can-Am or Polaris, can start to go bad. They can get some slack in them, whatever you want to call it, and start having a lot of excess drag. Well, a brand new belt is stiff. And then when you first put it on, it's not pulled down like this and perfect and straight. It's still got a bow in it. And what's happening is it's pulling harder. It's hard to do all this on the camera, but kind of pulling harder on that pulling harder on that bearing. And it's that making it drag. And now when you are trying to sit there in neutral and put it in gear, the secondary is turning because it's creating drag on that bearing. So my old belt didn't do it, but my new does. Got to get this one broken in. But ultimately, what's starting to fail on you is your bearing. Once you get this broke in, get a couple hundred miles on it, get them flexible and all, then actually you probably could kick the can down the road a little ways. So randomly we'll get an email or phone call when I put my new belt on this, and it's not even brand specific. It's not Hunterworks. It's just any, whether it's factory, ours, Gates, whoever, it doesn't matter. The end result is the same. So alignment and bearing issues ultimately can make your new belt cause you problems, and it's not the belt. So just a little tidbit of information. Remember belts. Subscribe, ring the bell. Appreciate you guys.